This guide will show you my Fallout 4 to Fallout New Vegas workflow. The end result will be a static mesh with custom collision with a diffuse and normal texture. Install the programs listed on screen. The downloads for them are in the description. Next we will need to find the mesh directory. So we're going to open Fallout New Vegas. Once in game, you're going to want to open the console and press on the mesh you want to replace, like this. And then you're going to type get model path, and this tells us where the mesh is located in the game files. So for this, architecture wasteland, you're going to want to go to your Fallout New Vegas install directory, go into data, go into meshes 2, because I think that's where the mesh I need is. Untick this because you might take everything out on accident. And yeah, you're going to look through architecture until you get to wasteland. And I'm looking for this. So I'm going to extract this to my desktop. You'll want to do the same for the assets you want to backport into Vegas. I've already done it, hence my Project Mojave assets folder here. One issue with this particular mesh I'm trying to replace is the mod I'm trying to backport from made it differently. So what I'm going to have to do is actually combine the separate meshes in Blender and then export it. You'll want Blender 3.6 specifically because of exporting and importing in, I think Blender 4.0 for NifS is a bit iffy. So we're going to import the doorway first. You will want to get rid of these axis icons above the triangle mesh. The upside down orange triangle represents the mesh and you only want that. Although the meshes are scaled to 0.1 in the rest of the Blender segment, keep them at 1. This was a mistake on my end and I had to do the meshes after. I would have re-recorded, however I'd recorded 3 times up to this point, so I really didn't want to do it again. So now we're going to import the corner pieces. I still can't believe I'm going to redo all this. And yeah, we're going to go behind here, drag along the X coordinate. We're going to want to turn on the magnet up here and use increment. And stop zooming into what that. Anyway, we're going to copy and paste this, rotate it 90 degrees on the Z axis, like that. And do the same again. I think this one will be rotated on -90. No, I need to copy it first. So you copy it and then rotate it on the -90 axis, like that. Still can't believe I want to redo this, but whatever. Now import the back. Now you rotate this at 180. Alright, now what you want to do is import the original mesh we had ripped from Vegas. I already have it open. Now I'll need to move our mesh so it looks in line with this. So grab Z, rotate 90, -90. There we go. And then turn off magnet. There we go. Just making sure that it's properly in there. Alright, now we've positioned it. What we need to do is we need to open this specific mesh and see where its origin is. It's the orange dot that my cursor's near. What we want to do is press Shift S and cursor to active. It may have moved the camera, but what that does is now it makes it easier because now I can apply the origins of all of these meshes to that 3D cursor, which will I accidentally had the base mesh selected, but it doesn't matter. Basically what this means is when it's imported in game, it's not going to be floating and there's not going to be any extra effort other modders are going to have to compensate for. It's just going to be in the same position as the mesh we're basing it on, which is pretty much what we want. Well, it's exactly what we want, but yeah, now delete all of that shit that you don't need. Yeah, delete fucking Godzilla over there. Objects, apply, rotation and scale. If you do apply all transforms, then it's just gonna revert all of that weird shit we just did. And you absolutely do not want that. So now we can export this. So just press A again. That selects all of what we need. Export with the Nif plugin. We don't have bones, so we won't need that. Combined tents. There we go. That's much easier to remember. Now we're gonna open up Combined Tent and Wasteland Marquee in NifSkope. Go over to Wasteland Marquee, press on knee node, go under and remove. Press collision object block, remove branch. We don't need any collision data from there. With nitride strips, press block remove, and then when that little nitride strips data at the bottom comes out, press block remove on that too. And the 10 light shader lighting property, press block remove on that, and then the next bit that pops out as well. And then right click on block string extra data, block remove. And then on knee node, block remove. So it's a lot of fickle stuff, but if you don't do that, then you just have some weird stuff happen. Just like extra data. Now go into nitride strips, change. Actually, no. Get rid of alpha property, block remove. Don't need alpha information, and get rid of the alpha texture flag and shader flags, because we don't need that either anymore. Now we're going to go back to Combined Tent, press on the door mesh. Oh, actually before we do any of that, spells, optimize, stripify. This will change them into a usable format, or format we're going to use. Nitride strips, nitride strip data, block copy, go back over, open the drop down, nitride strips data, block paste over. Change that from static to static even. Disable vertex colors because it's like bad ambient occlusion, it looks tacky as fuck. Change the material properties, glossiness from 10 to 60 so it isn't super shiny. Go back up to nitride strips, change the scale into 1 and the R value here to -90. Okay, and now we're going to want to right click on nitride strips block, duplicate branch, and do this 6 times. Now we're going to open each nitride strip and copy their strip data from Combined Tent, paste it over here, and each time make sure we change multiple back to static and vertex colors to no, because we do not want vertex colors, they are poo. Next, we are going to go into Photoshop and actually make them textures. You know, to get Photoshop. We all do. So once it opens, import your textures from your mod. I have my diffuse texture right here, and it's as simple as just resaving it for the diffuse desktop. No, I'll make a new folder. Tent mod. This will be what will end up being my final. This will be the file all the assets are stored in. I want to save it using this specific DDS plugin. Link for it will be in the description, hopefully. DXD1 mid map, because why wouldn't you? I think compression is different. I think KSAR is the best filter. Mitchell could also be good. I just know it's either one of these two. I use KSAR though. It has no alpha channel, so there's no point in saving an alpha channel into it. But yeah, maybe a bit difficult getting that DDS plugin. I might have to go on Instant Archive because I think Nick used to host it on Nexus and a different mod page, but like most of it was missing, if I remember. Like, just it had been nukes off the internet, but it's decent. And the NVIDIA one for me crashes when I try and open it. With this, it's the pretty similar deal, really. Just, you know, save it to my 10 mod folder. This one you want to keep its DXT5. I think you could have it uncompressed, but they can be a bit big, so I'm just going to do it as that. And this is like the best plugin when it comes to compression, so it won't be that noticeable, especially if it's like a 2 or 4K texture. And this being a 4K texture means it will suffer not very much of compression, but if I left this uncompressed, this would be like a 20 odd megabyte texture, which I imagine is not really good for, you know, resource management. But yeah, close that. And oh, I'd accidentally sent my diffuse texture to the desktop. But yeah, that's it in terms of textures. So what's next? Well, we'll want to actually go back into NifSkope and look at the texture directory. We'll want to restructure that. So yeah. You need to do this, as I said, because it otherwise won't use the correct textures you want. Drag these over into that folder. New folder, arch. Wasteland. Oh wait, come back. I need you. Wasteland. And then you're gonna want to copy the name of these textures, because, well, you need to. Just make sure you don't have a double plugin extension name. Trust me, simply forgetting to name something properly can cost you an absurd amount of time. I say that I'm absolutely gawking at my fucking directory to make sure it's right. That's right. We'll probably also want to do the same while we're here for the mesh. I think they share a very similar mesh directory. Let me check. Yeah, they do. I had it saved in my scripts from when I first started recording. And yeah. Sounds paranoid, but yeah, this is where our end result mesh is gonna go. And then yeah, spells, optimize, remove unused strings. This is just removing data that we don't need. You know, just removing bloat, really. And then we can go on sanitize, fix simple block names. This just fixes naming issues. And then we go on to collapse link array, reorder link array, reorder blocks. Now, this should be fine. Now, never use auto sanitize, it breaks shit. Don't ever enable that. Now, save this mesh as, go to the mod file we'd created on our desktop, tent mod, go into meshes, architecture, wasteland, and then save it in here. And then copy it, and then go into our mod organizer 2 setup, paste it in, and then enable it. I'm just going to re-enable it and then launch the game. The Vegas modding is it's not the most fun thing. And they're invisible. I might know why. I may just have to reload the cell. Yeah, there we go. Obviously the inside's different from the outside. Oh mate, it fucking works. Get in. Yeah. You can see a bit of a gap, but can't really help it. That's because of the mesh itself more than anything. But yeah, that is it. That is how you backport Vegas asset, not Vegas assets, Fallout 4 assets